We're up to Ice Hay over here. He was discussing earlier um, the different levels, water versus wine. Uh, in this mimer, on the Mamorim quoted over here, it seemed like water is a higher level than wine. It doesn't have taste. Taste means it's already brought down to a level in which the person can access it. It has taste. But the level of water is sort of higher because it has no taste. You don't make a bracha only if you're thirsty, etc., as he discussed there. But in the other Maimorim, it sounded like the level of wine is higher than water because wine is hidden inside of the grapes. Uh, it is obscured from revelation. It's hidden. You have to work at it to squeeze the grapes to get it out, as opposed to water. Water is readily available. So how do we reconcile these two ideas? So he discussed that water, take, because it has a higher level, that's why it goes down lower. So when you look at it in the Poyel Mamish, in actuality, the water is on a lower level, and it has in it a root which comes from higher. The root that it comes from higher is that's why they don't have any taste. They descend from above to below, from the higher level, but we can tell that they're in a higher level, that they don't have a taste, even as they have descended below. And now we're going to learn the difference between wine and oil. Here, in a sense, that wine and oil, both of them come after you squeeze the fruit. You have to squeeze the grape. You also have to crush the olives. And the Rebbe will explain over here that there's a difference between how much you have to squeeze the grape and the olive. The squeezing the grape is quicker than crushing the olive to get the oil. There's the differences. And while wine represents the secret of Torah, but it's a secret which is close to revelation, it's easy to squeeze it out. The level of oil, you need a crush because that represents rosin de rosin, the secrets of Torah, which means it's not even close to the outside to being revealed. You have to really crush it. And as he's going to explain, also in the Sviris, etc. Let's look inside. Hey, v'hine mevuer li'il. Earlier in Sif Aleph, it was explained mehamaimer dibra maschil Baruch Sha'asa נסים, from the Maimer which starts with the heading Baruch Sha'asa נסים, blessed is the one who made miracles. The zeh sheshemen tzof al gabi kol hamashkin, the characteristic, the nature that oil always floats on top of all liquids. How come physically, if you put oil together with other liquids, the oil will float to the top? Because oil is above all liquids. Above all liquids is oil. That's why it'll float on top. And based on what we explained earlier in Siv Daled, the Mailas Hayayin al Hamayim. Over there, explained what is the advantage of wine over water. He shahayayim mitzad atzmai hu behelam. Tomun banova, that wine on its own, before you squeeze it, it's hidden. Tomun banova, it's hidden inside the grapes. Mailas hamayim al hayayin, and the advantage of water over wine, where do you see the advantage of water over wine? Himitzad shorshon is because of their root. In their root, the water is higher than wine because shezenikar bahem gam bozeh shem l'mayla mahatam. That could be recognized in the water also in the aspect they're above, they don't have a taste. The fact they're not a taste represents that the water comes from a greater level than the level of wine, which has a taste and therefore means it's reachable, which is not water. Water is beyond taste. So based on this idea with regards to wine and water, we're going to say the same thing as with regards to oil. That oil is higher both from wine and water. The shemen, because we say that it floats on top of all liquids, on top of wine and water. Shemen hulamailo. The fact that oil is higher, hein miyayin, vehein mimayim, both from wine, higher than water. Who bishnei ha'inyonim is in these two aspects. Hein be'inyan ha'helim shaboy, both also in the matter how obscure we say that water is revealed, wine is hidden in the grapes, oil in the level of its obscurity is even more than, it's higher than wine, it's even more obscure. Shaboy, the hahelem, the shemen, that obscurity of the oil, zesh hu tomun b'hazesim, the fact that it's hidden in the olives, hu helem godel yoiser mahelem the yayin shetomun b'anovav. That's even a greater obscurity than the obscurity of wine that is hidden in the grapes. Oil in the olives are more obscure than wine in the grapes. That's in one aspect. Ve'hein bozeh shehu l'maylo mehatam. Also in the other aspect that we say that the water we said has the aspect that you can tell that it's greater than wine, so you can also say that it's greater than the oil. It's higher than the taste. It's even less than the water. Oil is less because by water, as I'm going to say later on, at least you can drink it. Oil you can't drink on its own. So there's a lesser, less accessible to the person, which was the advantage of water. It's as greater in oil. Oil is even less accessible, even less than water. So this makes oil on a higher level, both than the wine and the water, and in both aspects. It's more hidden, and it is also beyond taste, beyond benefit, enjoyment for the person, as Kilakamas Yuzai. What is the idea over here? The hahelem the yayin shehu tomun ba'anovov hu helem hakorev legili. This hidden of the wine, that wine is hidden in the grapes, it's a helem, it's obscure, but it's hakorev legili. It's close to revelation. It's obscure, but it's not far away from revelation. Shelochein, and therefore, Gilu Hayayin Mehelomai, how to reveal the wine from its obscure state? That is by squeezing the grapes. That's not such an effort. as opposed to the obscurity, the hidden of the oil, as it is hidden inside the olives. It's an obscurity which is not close, it's not near revelation. And therefore, in order to reveal the oil from its obscurity, you need to crush the olives. That to crush is ishtadlus b'yoser. That's a very strong effort. A lot more than just squeezing the grapes. Over here, you need to crush it, which is more effort, because it's more obscure. It's further away from Gilead. This is what the Mamorim explain, that the yayin hu rozei Torah, that wine is the secrets of Torah, v'shemen hu rozin dirozin, and oil is the secrets of the secrets, and therefore, in order just when you want to reveal the secrets of Torah, since they are obscure, but it's still connected to revelation, not far away, over there is sufficient an effort on the usual way. In order to reveal the secrets of the secret, since they are obscure and they are not connected to revelations, far away from revelation. So in order to bring about their revelation, for that is required a very strong effort, like crushing, to bring out and to reveal the rozin diros in the secrets of the secrets. Both. Now we'll understand this difference between these two types of efforts. Also from the fact that in the revealed part of Torah, there are two categories in efforts. There's two levels of how much effort you put in learning and Yegia, even to Nigla the Torah. Although, generally speaking, when we study Torah, whatever aspect you are studying, no matter, needs to be with effort, with toil. You got to toil in Torah. To such an extent, we say this, even when one reviews a matter that he has already studied, still in his review, he needs to study in a way of intensity and with toil. It is so necessary for the person to toil in Torah, even when he's reviewing. If he will review a topic that he has already learned, but he will review it without intensity, without iyun, nikra ze b'shem bittul Torah. We call bittul Torah. The Rebbe has a long note here in 45. That's why we call in the Gemara Megillah mevatlin Talmud Torah boim l'shmoya mikra Megillah, that you waste time of learning to come and listen to the Megillah. Why would we call that bittul Torah? But reading the Megillah is not Talmud Torah, that's learning Torah. And the explanation is because reading the Megillah ordinarily is done just by listening, reviewing, without intensity, without iyun. So relative to his regular learning Torah, which needs to be iyun, it's called bittul Torah. So you see that always you need the level of intense, you need to toil in Torah. Balachas kama v'kama, that's any time we learn Torah. But how much more so when one studies deep aspects of the Torah, then it needs to toil by himself, effort, with a very powerful effort, Yosef, even more to understand deep matters. He needs to more intensely, more harder. He needs to work very hard. Self-understood, there is kama v'kama dargis. There's many, many levels. Hayigia shebechol dargis elu einoi be'oifun shetzorich levatel mitziusa hakodemes. The toil in all of these levels, he does not need, it is not necessary to negate his previous standing, his previous mitzias, his essence. He doesn't have to negate himself in order to be able to achieve understanding in this level. Just needs a lot of toil. As opposed to when one learns an aspect in Torah which is not at all in his compared to him, it's just in a totally beyond. Then the toil is in such a way he needs to negate and do away with his previous existence. That is called kitisha. That is the crushing, to crush, to remove, and to leave the previous way. Malderech, similar to we find Reb Zera fasted 100 fast day. Kidei lishkoyach, when he moved from Babel to Eretz Yisrael, he fasted 100 fasts. Kidei lishkoyach Talmud Babli, in order for him to forget the Babylonian Talmud. Why did he want to forget? So that he should able to learn Talmud Yerushalmi, that it should not interfere with his ability of learning the new style. So he needs to do away with his previous, not to remember at all. And in a similar way is the difference between hayigia b'shvil hagilu d'rozi Torah, the effort that needs to be in order to reveal the secrets of the Torah, lahayigia, to the effort that is needed b'shvil hagilu d'rozin, to understand and to reveal the secrets of the secrets. So that's in the level of how obscure, how hidden it is. But also there is the advantage of oil, that it's still considered to be above understanding, even when you already have the oil. When you already have the rosin, zayit. There's an additional advantage of the oil over the wine. The hashemen, gam la'achar shebo begilui, the oil, even after it comes to revelation, al yidei hakatisha, through the crushing, isn't fit to be drunk as it is by itself. Oil in itself you can't drink. You don't make a bracha if you drink oil, if you would drink it as it is on its own, because that is damaging to the person. And this is unlike with the loike hayayin, Unlike wine, after you squeeze the wine, then it becomes an important drink. And you make on it the blessing of Ber Pri HaGofen. Why is that? Lefi shashemen gam la'achrei haketisha, or the oil, even after it was crushed, ulemailo adayin b'mechinas gilu mamash. It is still above from real, actual revelation. Ein roy l'shtiyah. It's still not fit to drink, even after you squeezed it and you crushed it, and you brought it out. It's still not fit. Yesh lahoisiv. We can add, and there is to add, the inyan ze behelem de shemen. This concept that it's obscure, the obscurity of oil, that it's not fit for drinking, this is greater on a higher level, more than the obscurity of water that don't have a taste and is bodily ill. Siv Gimel Dalet, as we explained earlier in Siv Gimel Dalet. The fact that oil cannot be drunk, that is more helem, that's more obscure even than water that have no taste. The mayim, im hayosh she'ein bahem tam, hem ru'uyin lishtiyah. For water, even though they have no taste, are still fit to be drink. You say the mizu, and it's even more than that. It's not only that they're fit to drink, but sometimes if you feel that you're thirsty, then you even make a bracha. You could actually also enjoy, benefit from them. In order to benefit, the person needs to feel a sense that he's lacking, that he's thirsty. As opposed to oil, when it's by itself, but not mixed in with other stuff. It's not only that you can't enjoy oil, but it's not fit. It's not fit for drinking at all. Because it's obscure, which is higher than revelation. So that means that its obscurity is even greater than the obscurity of water. Water, at least, is fit to drink. And water, you can even make a bracha if you're thirsty. But oil is not fit to drink at all. That means it's more obscure. Now we can say that this fits the way their spiritual meaning of water and oil. The chiluk zeh ben yayin mayim v'shemen. The difference between wine, water, and oil. It goes in this order. Wine is tasty. Water doesn't have a taste but could be drank. And oil, you can't drink. The yayin yesh lo tam. Wine has a taste. Mayim ein lam tam. Water have no taste. Aval ru'im l'shtiyah, fit to drink. V'shemen ein ro'im l'shtiyah, but oil is not fit to drink. Hu behesem le'inyonom beruchnius. It is fits to their aspects the way they're spiritually. In the order of the sephiros, they represent the yayin hu bina. Yayin is the level of bina. Velochen yesh lo tam. And that's why it has a taste, which is havona v'hasoga. Bina is understanding and grasp. When you're able to understand and grasp, that means you can enjoy it. That is a taste. That is wine. Mayim, water, him chokhmah. That's chokhmah. Shalem mailo mahavona v'hasoga. That is beyond understanding and grasp. V'lochein ein lahem tam, and that's why they have no taste. Aval afal pikein hem ru'in lishtiyah. They're still fit to be drink. You can drink them. It also it's possible to enjoy chokhmah, just like water. Liyoisam chokhmah hagaluya, because it is still the revealed chokhmah versus the hidden chokhmah, chokhmah stima. This is chokhmah hagaluya. Chokhmah the atzilus is revealed, so therefore there's a possibility of benefiting. But the shemen who chokhmah stima, the oil that is the hidden level of chokhmah, shelamaylam hagilui de bina, begam hagilui de chokhmah, which is higher than both, than the revelation of bina, and even and also from the revelation of chokhmah. Ein aroi lishtir, that's not fit to drink. Oisches. Zehu shechanukas hamizbeach hoiso al yidei shemoshchu oisoi b'shemen hamishcha. It's discussed earlier that the dedication of the Mizbeach was dedicated by anointing it with the anointing oil. Shal yidei shenimshach boy mibchinas chochmas timo, through the oil that the Mizbeach was anointed, extended to it, the level of Chokhmah Timo, Chokhmah Shebikeser, Chokhmah Keser, which is oil. Ayidei zenimshach gam hakoyach lehalechem the korbanos, that gives the power to the bread of the korbanos ulinisuch hayayin the bina. Those are all in the level of bina, the regular libation of wine, which was done all year, and the bread of the korbanos, which are all considered to be eternal and associated with bina. So you first have the meshicha from chokhmah stima on the mizbech in order to be followed later on by the karbonis and the nisuch hayayin of bina, and then especially on sukkahs ul nisuch hamayim, the chokhmah, and also for the libation of water of chokhmah, which was when we had the nisuch hamayim. Okay, so that is the three levels. You have the shemen, which is the meshichas from the mizbeach. You have the wine and the karbonis, the regular, which is the bina, and you have the nischamayim on sukkahs, which is the chacham. There's an additional part in the shemen. The shemen amishcha had also besomim, it had also spices, and that's an additional level. Spiced oil shows on a higher level because the smell is not something that you can take with your physical, but you can only take it with the spiritual senses, the sense of smell, and that represents even a higher level. He adds in the Maimer, the Beshemen Hamishcha Hoyu Besomim, that in the anointing oil there were spices, which is Inyan Hareach, which is the concept of smell. Shohu Lemailo Gam Mishemen, which is also above, higher than oil. So we can give, say, the explanation in this additional idea that there is also the level of the smell, the besomim, the shemen, because if we talk just about oil, although it's above the taste and the benefit of the person as is when it's just oil, to the extent that it's not fit to be drunk at all, the oil who nitras b'mishush, but yet you can capture it, you can feel oil. But when we talk about a smell, an aroma, the besomim ain't nitras b'mishush, you cannot capture it by feeling it. And even more than just the fact that this is not physically captured, we say the reyach davar shaneshama. And then he said it's only the neshama, which is the advantage that Rebbe brings down of smell over sound and look, that that's higher than that is higher. It's only, it says that double shat neshama and yanis menu v'le'aguf. It's only the soul benefits from it and not the body, as the Gemara in Brachas says. Let me note over here. So, move on. So now we understand. So this is even a higher level than just oil. This is a level of besomim, which is not felt, and it's something which the soul benefits. The Chokmas HaTorah. So also in the steps, the levels of the wisdom of Torah. So we talked before that we compared the Torah to oil and smell. This that Torah has been compared to oil. Koyi Kinal goes, as we said before, al rozin de rozin, on the secrets of the secrets. Shegam heim, because even they, rozin de rozin, the secrets of the secrets, boyim begilui sichli, they come in an intellectual revelation, even the secrets of the secrets. Va'at sheheim mislapshim be'oisius, to the extent they dress up in letters, they can be understood by dressing up in the form, in the letters, and that makes them more accessible, that makes them nitfas, like the oil. As opposed to the aspect of the smell of Torah, that is totally beyond grasp, even higher. That's the aspect of the reach of Torah. Still, just like the smell, even though it is an aspect in which the soul benefits and not the body, but it's still known, when you have a strong smell, that's the way to return. If a person faints, God forbid, return the soul is by giving him a strong smell. That it should be extended, revealed into the body. So while in general we say that the soul benefits and not the body, but the soul sort of wakes up, the smell wakes up the soul, so that the soul then comes down to the body. So similarly, we can say with regards to the aroma, to the reach, the level of smell of Torah, that extends in the practical ruling of the law. That's the aspect of reach in the aspect of the law. We say Mashiach will be smelling and judging. They wanted to test Bar Kuziva. They wanted to test if he can smell and judge if he's Mashiach or not. Because Mashiach will smell and judge, meaning from the level of smell to come down in judgment, like the neshama returns to the body. The b'chinas hareich sheboy yumshach b'psak din b'poel, the level of reach that's in the in him, in the Torah, should come down in the actual ruling. Moirach v'doin, the smell and judge. Elo shahatam, the psak din, u'lemaylu maseichel legamri. But the reasoning for this ruling is beyond the seichel. That's why it's a smell. It is nimshach in halacha l'maisa, but it's above sechel. V'yeshloima shu al derech shosak rav. The Gemara says he challenged him. Rav didn't answer. Didn't mean u'mikomakim lahadarbe. And yet he did not retract. He continued with his opinion, meaning that it's a level which is higher than the level of Chacham. Nagam shezo yoetzle b'chinas riyah the Chachma sheloi nizgala b'seichel klal. Although by Rab this wasn't a level, he saw it in Chachma. He couldn't argue it. He couldn't explain it. But yet, it was in a level sheloi nizgala b'seichel klal. He didn't retract. He kept on by this ruling. This has not been revealed in intellect at all. Based on seeing this beyond the intellect, he ruled a halachic ruling in actuality based upon that which he saw based on a higher level. That's the moirach v'doin, to bring down the level of reach into halacha. So we talked about wine. We talked about water, we talked about wine, and we talked about oil, and then we talked about even a higher level, the spices, the besamim of the oil. And now we're going to talk about there's a higher level in oil which you put into the menorah. That's not anointing oil, that's lighting oil. And the lighting oil doesn't actually remain, the lighting oil doesn't remain oil, but actually it's consumed, it's burnt, the fire goes up. That's even a higher level. After he explains in the Maimer, in Dibur HaMaskil HaSabarok Shnoso Nissim, Goydel Ha'il the Shemen HaMishcha, the great advantage of the anointing oil, who Mevayer, he explains, the Shemen Lamoir, the oil that is used to bring light, to make light. Sheboy hoyo hanes the Chanukah, with which the miracle of Chanukah was not with anointing oil, that was with the lighting oil, the oil of the menorah, hu naile yoser gam mishemen hamishcha, that is even greater than the anointing oil. Hine ha'oir shenase mehashemen, for the light that comes from the oil, that is made out of the oil. That light comes from the consumption of the oil, and that's higher than oil. That is similar to the smell, the aroma that was in the anointing oil, which is higher than oil. But in this case, he says in the bracket, it's even higher than the besomim of the shemen hamishcha. The oil that is, the light that is made out of the oil, the shemen is higher even than the aroma, than the smell of the oil. As explained in the Maimer. What's the difference between the besomim of the oil and the lighting oil? The difference is the hareyach shebeshemen hamishcha b'shvil hashemen. The smell that is in the anointing oil is for the oil. Shal yidei hareyach nimshach hashemen the chochmas timo ligilui. Through the oil, through the smell, the oil, which is the level of chochmas timo, the hidden chochma of keser, it comes revealed legilui. Sheyuchlu lechanech boy es hamizbeach, so that they can dedicate with that oil the Mizbeach, so that it should be fit for the sacrifices and the libations that follow. When we talk about oil and light, we're not doing it for the oil, like the psalmim is for the oil. Over here, who adarab, it's on the contrary. The hashemen who b'shvil ha'ir, its oil is for the light. The purpose of the oil is the light, not for the purpose of the oil. To the extent that the oil is consumed, and from that is made light. And there's another aspect in this. The light that is made out of the consumption of the oil, although light on its own is obscure, that oil, that light, the noise of the oil, in addition, that the nature of light, no matter what fire, always wants to go up to its root. So it's always a level of Helen. But specifically when we talk about the light, which is made up from the consumption of the oil, so even oil is a level of Helen. And how much more so the light that is made out of the consumption of oil, so that light, and above it, that this is something which is naturally not there. Need the shemen to kiloin shemen by the obscurity, and this is higher. The oil is consumed and turns into fire, so the fire is higher than the kiloin Hashem. And still, notwithstanding this highest level, nasa oil meir, that becomes a light and it shines. The loy oil. And not only that the oil turns into, notwithstanding that the fire becomes a light that shines, but not only does it light, but through the oil, it lights gently. It goes gently, the flame. Oil shebis yashvus, it's a light that is settled. So this is the other idea, that the light that comes from the kiloyin Hashem, which makes it on a very high level, and yet it becomes light, and the oil causes it to light gently. Yud. From all this, we extend the great advantage of the miracle of Hanukkah that took place with the jug of oil. It only had enough to light one day, and a miracle happened with that jug of oil, and they lit for 8 days. The ha'oil she'edliku mishemen zeh. So here we have a miracle oil now. The oil that they lit from this oil, mikivon she'hoya alidei nes, since it took place through a miracle, it's more higher than the shemen, even than we talked about the shemen hamoir, which was higher already than the shemen hamishla, and this is a shemen that came through a nes. Alpha became. And still, gam oir zeheir begilui ubisyashus, and still it shined in a revealed way, in a settled way. V'yesh lekasher zeh, and we can tie this also gam im zeh sheidliku shmona yomas, also with the fact that they lit it for 8 days, as the Gemara says, yoimed the Chanukah tamanya inun, the days of Chanukah are 8. The Inyan Shmoinas Yomim Hu, what is the idea of the 8 days? Kimavur Bahamaimer Shom, as explained in the Maimer there, it's a Hamshocher Mizayin Yoimin de Atik. It is drawing down from the 7 Yoimin of Atik, which is Bechinan Ailis B'Yoser. Number 7, Bim Malchus is 8, into Malchus, Shoydish HaNivroim. So you get down from the 7 spheres, the 7 yomin of Atik into Malchus, which is the Shoydish HaNivroim. Vayidei Malchus nimshach orzeh begilu gamamata. Through the Malchus, it comes down also below. Oishid Aleph. V'yirotzin. There's the V'yirotzin. Shebekorev mamesh niske lebiyas Mashiach tzidkein. That very soon we will merit the coming of a righteous Mashiach. She'oz yiyeh. Then the pasuk says, "V'hikohu l'shiva necholim," that he will smite the river into 7 streams, 7 necholim, and that will be the level of the 7 yom the Atik. And that is the 7 Knei HaMenorah. And together with that also Likiner Shel Shmoina Nimin, to the harp of the 10 strands, of the 8 strands. Ba'ad Likiner the Olam Haba, until the harp of the world to come, which is even more of the Shmoina Nimin, Sheyeh Shel Eser Nimin. That's going to have 10 strands. Shagam kiner zeh yeh b'meis hamikdash hashlishi. Also, that harp will be in the 3rd Beis Hamikdash sheyiboneh, that will be built b'bias Mashiach tzidkenu, with the coming of a righteous Mashiach. Shari Beis Hamikdash hashli yeh beis nitzchi. So that means the Beis Hamikdash hashlishi will be an eternal home. So even the harp of 10 nimin of Elam Haba will still be in the Beis Hamikdash, because the Beis Hamikdash is eternal. B'kol zeh b'korev mamish. All this is very soon. Ba'ad b'yofen de miyad, until in a way of immediately. U'b'lashoin HaRambam, as the Rambam says, miyad hein negolim, immediately they will be redeemed.